Hello everyone and welcome to this session. Today I am going to answer the question, now what after CAT? That means now that CAT examination has been conducted, what exactly should you focus upon? This would be a pretty useful session, pretty important session, because now that you have written CAT examination, you should have clarity about what are the areas we need to focus upon right now. So the next coming few weeks can be very crucial in deciding whether you end up in your desired B school or not, depending on what kind of actions you undertake in the coming next few days and few weeks. So let's answer this all important question. So to begin with, the CAT examination has been conducted successfully on 24th of November. That was the day CAT examination was conducted across India, and thousands and lakhs of people appeared for the examination. We will know the exact number after a few days, but the feedback that we have received from thousands of students of time is that examination has been conducted very smoothly and students did not face any technical issues. So that's the positive feedback that we have received about the examination. The results of the examinations are expected to be announced in a few weeks. Why am I saying few weeks? Why am I not giving you the exact date? Because IIMs have not revealed the exact date of the results. Now, if you look at the past track record of CAT, couple of years back, CAT results used to be announced in the first week of January. But then they changed it. For instance, last year, the results got announced in December itself. Third week of December, the results were announced. So, you never know when the results will come out. It may be in December, which is very likely, but it may also be in January first week. So, keep an eye on it. We will also keep you posted. The moment results get announced, we will also send an email to you informing about the same. We will also be uploading the links for the result on our website also. You can keep a track of it there also. But before the results get announced, what would happen in the next few days is CAT authorities will allow you to download your response sheet, your OMR sheet, right? Of course, now it has become a computer-based exam, so the OMR may not be the right term, but your response sheet. So whatever answers you have marked, you will be able to download them along with the question paper of your slot after a few days. So do keep a track of that also. We will also keep you informed as and when they do release it. But do download your response sheet. When you're downloading your response sheet, I strongly suggest you download it and save it in .html format. Now, why am I asking you to download in .html format? Because Time will upload a tool called Score and Call Predictor. So, CAT Score Predictor as well as IIM Call Predictor will be uploaded by us. So, using that tool, you would be able to find out what is the score that you are going to end up with and what could be the likely percentile that you will obtain based on your performance. But in order to access and use our tool, you need to upload your response sheet in .html format. So that's the reason when you are downloading your response sheets, do save it in .html format without fail as such. Now, once CAT results are announced, do IIMs release their interview call list immediately? Not really. So as I said earlier, the CAT results may be announced in December or January, but then IIMs will only release their interview calls starting from January onwards. Again, there may be one or two exceptions to this, but major chunk of IIMs, they release their calls in January. Few of them, they may also do that in February. Again, I would like to mention there are one or two exceptions to this. There are some colleges which may delay the process by a bit also, but then broadly, majority of them will be issuing their interview calls in January and February. Now, what should you focus upon now? Now that CAT is over, what should be your focus? What should you do in the next coming few days or few weeks of the time that is left? To begin with, I strongly recommend that you focus on your preparation for OMETs. Now, what do I mean by OMETs? See, OMETs is a term that we at Time constantly use. OMET stands for Other Management Entrance Test. That means other than CAT, whatever other exams you can write in India to pursue an MBA program, collectively we refer to those exams as OMETs. So what are those exams I am talking about? I am talking about exam like XAT, for instance, or an exam like SNAP, for instance, or an exam like NMAT, for example. These are all entrance exams we can write in India apart from CAT. So CMAT, IPSAT, there is a long list. All those exams collectively, I am referring to them as OMETs. And remember, OMETs are extremely crucial. Why are they crucial? Because it's not that IIMs are the only good colleges in India, right? Apart from IIMs, there are some other pretty good colleges that India has got, and they do accept other entrance exam scores other than CAT. For instance, XLRI, one of the top 10 business schools of India, they accept XAT. Similarly, Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies, Mumbai, they accept NMAT. Symbiosis, SIBM or SCMHRD Pune, they accept SNAP. So, if you have a desire to do an MBA program from a top-notch institution, CAT is the most important exam. But then other than CAT, you have got these options that are available, which can definitely serve the purpose of a backup, and they can definitely help you in making it to a good business school in India to pursue an MBA program. So immediately now, you must shift your focus towards preparation for these entrance exams. How to do that? What areas should you focus upon? What is the syllabus that these exams have got? When you compare with CAT, what are the differences? All that I am going to cover after a few minutes. Alright. Now, apart from this, the second thing I want you to focus upon is your preparation for group discussion, written ability test, and personal interview rounds that business schools will conduct in their admission process. Remember, except one or two colleges where GWPI will not happen, remaining all business schools in India invariably will have another round in their selection process. Some of them will have group discussion, some of them will have essay writing also, some of them, in fact, almost all of them, I should say, they have personal interviews. So it's very important that you do prepare for these rounds. Now, some students, they ask me, sir, why now? Why can't I wait for the interview call to come in my hand and then can't I prepare for GWPI? Remember, some business schools, they give very less duration for students to prepare. For example, Symbiosis group of business schools, for instance. Sometimes, if you look at the gap between getting an interview call and actually facing the interview, sometimes the gap is as less as a month or sometimes even less than that. So tell me, a month of preparation, do you think it is a good enough duration to excel in interview? Not really, right? You do need a little more than that. That is where the next coming few days and weeks will play an instrumental part. That's the reason I'm saying do focus a little bit of your time on GWPI preparation also. Now, don't get me wrong. Please understand, definitely comparatively right now the priority should be OMETs. That has to be your first priority. But then, when you are tired with your OMETs preparation, when you are bored with your OMET preparation, do also take out a little bit of time for your GWPI preparation. That should also be looked at so that you do end up with adequate amount of preparation to excel in your interviews. Alright, now these are the two things that should be your focus, but last but not the least, you should also keep a track of B-School applications. Remember, a student who has applied to business schools smartly will have a lot more options to choose from than compared to a student who has underestimated the importance of applying properly to business schools. Now, some business schools, they have already started selling their application form. Some of them have a deadline which will end before the CAT results get announced. Especially those business schools, you do need to make up your mind right now, whether you should apply or not. Now, in case a business school has a last date of application after the CAT results are expected to be announced, then there is no hurry. you can happily wait for your CAT results. You can give a glance on your CAT results, and depending on your performance in CAT, you can take a call whether you should be applying to that business school, or you can skip it, you can let it go. For instance, IIM Mumbai application form, for example, the last date to apply is 31st of Jan 2025. Obviously, by then your CAT results would have been announced, and you can have a look at your scorecard and decide whether you have performed adequately well for that particular business school. Are you likely to get an interview call or not? And then you can apply. Now, some people ask me, how do I know whether the percentile that I secure is good enough or not? Who can guide me? How can I get that help? You can get help from faculty members of time in multiple ways. For example, if you're a student of time, you can visit your local time center and you can seek help. Alternately, we also conduct online chat sessions on our website, on timenumericalforeducation.com, which is our website, official website. You would see the chat schedule. And we organize chat sessions on BE school selection on a regular basis. So the moment CAT results get announced, you can participate in the chat session. And in the chat sessions, you will have access to the senior faculty members of time from across India, and you can pose your queries and we will give answers to your questions. So you definitely can expect help from us. It's just a matter of seeking help and approaching us for guidance. But remember, choose BE schools very smartly so that you do not miss out on application date of any business school. We also put up BE school application information on our website. As I said earlier, timenumericalforeducation.com. You can go to our website. On the top, you will see notifications tab. You can click it and select CAT MBA, and you will get access to all the business school application forms that have been announced, so that you don't miss the deadline for any of them as such. Alright, so these are primarily three areas that I want you to focus upon in the next coming few days or few weeks as such. Now let's get into a little more details about each of them. Let's start with OMETs. Now I want you to get an idea about what are the OMETs that are yet to be conducted, what are the upcoming OMETs. See, let's start with SNAP. See, SNAP is a very important exam which is conducted by Symbiosis International University, deemed to be university which is situated in Pune. Now, they have got more than a dozen business schools across India, and some of them are pretty good. For example, SIBM Pune is the best option. They also have got good options like SCMHRD or SIIB or SIBM Bangalore. There's a long list. So SNAP exam can definitely be considered, especially if you are very keen on doing MBA this year itself. SNAP exam is conducted 3 times, and they do allow students to write it multiple times, and best of the attempts is taken as final performance. That makes it very student friendly kind of an exam. Apart from SNAP, we also have got NMAT coming up for those who have not taken it yet. Though NMAT window started in November itself, but some of the students, they would have thought of completing CAT and then maybe writing NMAT. So I know some students who have scheduled the examination in December. So if you are one of those persons, then NMAT is also an option that is upcoming for you. That would also need a little bit of extra preparation. Then we have an exam called XAT, which is conducted by XLRI on behalf of XAMI. And XAT exam happens in January, first Sunday of January. So that is again an exam that is upcoming and a very useful exam, because more than 100 business schools are accepting XAT scores, and some of them are pretty good. Then we have got MAT exam, which is conducted by All India Management Association. Though this exam is not as important as some of the other exams, but again, it could be an option, especially if somebody is very keen on doing an MBA and they want an easier backup option, then MAT can be considered. So is the case with CMAT. See, CMAT exam, last year, if you observe, CMAT exam was conducted in the month of May, but it was pretty late. And I'm sure you would agree with me that May is not the ideal time. So this year, CMAT authorities, they decided they'll not do it in May. In fact, they have decided to do it in January itself. So CMAT date has got advanced. It is being done in the last week of January. 25th January to be more precise is when CMAT exam will be conducted. So CMAT exam can also be considered for anybody who want a backup option. That could be an exam to consider. MICAT exam is conducted by MICA, which is a college situated in Ahmedabad. They conduct MICA twice, and MICA, if you write it twice, again best of two performances will be considered. And MICA is a very good option, especially if you are a creative person who wants to make a career in marketing, advertising, or for that matter, even if you are somebody who wants to get into analytics. Again, MICA is a good option to consider, especially their regular MBA program, or I should say PGDM program. Regular PGDM program of MICA is good for analytics. Their PGDM CM program, PGD CM program, Communications Management program, is a good program for those who are interested in marketing, especially advertising. IPSAT is an entrance exam which is conducted by ICFI business schools. They have got so many campuses across India. Hyderabad is regarded as their best campus, followed by Mumbai. But that is again an option for those who want a backup option as such. So these are some of the upcoming OMETs. Is it an exhaustive list? It's not. Because for example, XIMB or XUB, I should say, Xavier University Bhubaneswar, they have another exam called XGMT. Though they accept CAT, they accept XAT, the GMAT, they also have their own exam called XGMT. That option can also be added. Atma is again an exam which is quite similar to MAT. That exam can also be added to the list. So this is not an exhaustive list, but I have only taken an indicative list. I have taken up those names which are more popular so that you people will get an idea about the OMETs. Now the question is, what are the last dates to fill up these application forms? See, some of the exams like SNAP, for example, or NMAT, for example, the application window is closed. You can't apply for SNAP or NMAT now. But these are the exams that are still available, because some of you who are watching this session, you may not have applied to some of these exams. So in case you have not done it, the good news is still time is there. For example, CMAT, the last date to apply will be 13th of December. So a lot of time is there for CMAT. So if you want to apply, please go ahead and apply. It's available. Remember, IPSAT, the exact date has not been announced, but usually 3rd week of December is the cutoff for IPSAT. MAT is an interesting exam because they conduct MAT 3 times. Out of those 3 times, twice it is conducted in computer-based format, once it is conducted in paper-based format. Yes, you heard me correct. This is perhaps the only entrance exam in India for MBA which is also administered in paper-based format. When I say the only, I am talking about national level entrance exam. State level, still there are quite a few states where paper-based exam still continues. But as far as national level exams are concerned, MAT is arguably the only one where paper-based exam happens. There may be 1 or 2 very small exams comparatively which will be paper-based, but among the more popular ones, this is the only one. Now, as far as MAT is concerned, they give you the option whether you want to go for paper-based exam or computer-based exam. If you want to go for computer-based exam, again there are 2 dates. Either you can go for CBT 1, where the exam will happen on 7th of December, or you can go for CBT 2, where the examination will be conducted on 22nd of December. It doesn't matter. You can choose a date as per your convenience. Now, they also allow people to write MAT exam couple of times. So people can choose to write MAT exam twice in computer-based format, or once in paper-based format, once in computer-based format. They do give you permission to do that. And when you have written it multiple times, best of your attempts will be considered by business schools when they give you an interview call. Finally, remember, we have got XAT exam application which is still available. 30th November would be the last date to apply for XAT. So that option is also available. So in case you have not yet made up your mind, or in case you did not apply for any of the OMETs, but you are very keen on doing MBA in the coming academic year itself, then these are some of the options that are still available for you to apply as such. Especially if somebody has not done well in CAT and you are feeling a little disappointed and you are very keen on doing MBA, you don't want to repeat everything again, then it does make sense for you to apply for some of these exams. Now, what additional preparation is needed if you want to excel in these entrance exams? Let's understand that. So, as far as CAT preparation is concerned, I am making an assumption that you have already prepared for CAT. That means you are already well versed with the mathematics, logical reasoning, data interpretation and VARC that was needed for CAT examination. Now on top of that, what additional preparation may be required? Let's focus on that. See, to begin with, let's start with logical reasoning. So logical reasoning, you may say, come on sir, logical reasoning was there in CAT also. Yes, logical reasoning was there in CAT also. But what did you do for CAT preparation? You essentially focused on puzzles, analytical puzzles. That's what was your main focus, right? You focused on puzzles, maybe you also focused on areas like cubes or Venn diagrams. But as far as the exams that I've spoken about earlier, they may have questions from logical reasoning which go beyond puzzles. So what kind of topics am I talking about? For instance, number series, where a series of numbers is given to you followed by a blank, or number analogies, or letter series, letter analogies, coding decoding, odd man out, blood relation, calendars, direction sense, input output, logical deductions, logical connectives, right? There's a long list. These are all topics in logical reasoning which will be extremely useful if anybody is planning to write SNAP or NMAT or sometimes CMAT, MAT, sometimes even XAT, sometimes. Of course, in the last few years, that has not been the case, but you do need to prepare for these topics in logical reasoning if you want to excel in some of these exams. All right. Now, if you are a time student, then remember, time has already provided you with study material. We have provided you with a separate textbook that contains the topics that I have mentioned. Do prepare from that textbook without fail and also write the OMET exams that time has provided on your student homepage so that you get to know the exact pattern of the exam, you become familiar with it, you can also prepare a good test taking strategy for that particular exam and you will be very comfortable. Let's move on. The next area I want to focus upon is critical reasoning. Now, what do I mean by critical reasoning? See, I am referring to topics like assumptions, statements and assumptions, statements and conclusions, or courses of action, or strengthening an argument, weakening an argument, right? All these kind of topics, they fall under the bracket of critical reasoning. Now, critical reasoning does play a crucial part in an exam like NMAT, for instance. NMAT frequently gives you questions based on critical reasoning. XAT also sometimes gives you questions based on critical reasoning. CMAT sometimes gives you questions based on critical reasoning. So, it makes sense that you prepare for these topics of critical reasoning also. Having said that, I am well aware that most of you would have prepared for critical reasoning as part of your CAT preparation itself, but then that may not have been the primary focus, right? Because the essence of CAT preparation is verbal ability and reading comprehension, whereas here in these exams that I have mentioned, critical reasoning does play a crucial part. And critical reasoning, you can excel only when you have conceptual clarity. You need to have your basics clear, then you will excel in critical reasoning. Then decision making is an extremely important area for an important exam called XAT. So anybody who wants to excel in XAT, anybody is genuinely aspiring to join a place like XLRI, for example, I strongly recommend you prepare for decision making very well. This is a high scoring section. And this is a kind of a section which is extremely fun to prepare also. This section will have you take decisions. So this section will give you a short story wherein some characters would be there who may be facing certain dilemmas. So the story may be based on business or it could be based on a general situation. But your job is to read the story, understand who are the characters out there, what is the problem they are facing, and then solve the underlying questions. So it's a test of your common sense. It's also a test of your critical thinking skills, right? Critical reasoning skills also get tested in a different way. And of course, as the name itself suggests, it is testing your decision-making capability. So this is a pretty crucial area of XAT preparation. You do need to prepare for this. Then we move on to current affairs. See, current affairs is part and parcel of some of the exams like XAT, for example. XAT has got current affairs, general awareness. Similarly, CMAT exam has got current affairs or general awareness. Similarly, MAT exam will test it out. So there are multiple exams where current affairs will be tested. Now, generally, students, they ask me, sir, how do I prepare for current affairs? See, first and foremost, I am hoping that you have been reading newspaper on a regular basis. But then newspaper reading alone may not be sufficient. You also need to refer to the magazine that Time has been providing you on a monthly basis, if you are a student of Time, that is. So we have been providing you with a magazine called MBA Education and Career, which is an excellent magazine. So what did we do in that magazine? We have handpicked information which we believe would be useful for the students when they tackle current affairs in various entrance exams. So do refer to that magazine without fail. Other than that, make sure you constantly revise the information that you might have read some time back. So that will give you a good amount of idea. Keep your eyes and ears open for important information that media may be reporting. For example, Oscar awards are announced. Keep an eye on who are the winners. Or let's say Nobel Prizes have been announced. Keep an eye for that as such. So like this, keep an eye on important current affairs developments that media may have been reporting as such. Also, the OMETs that Time conducts, they will also have current affairs in them. That will also give you good amount of preparation. This area, innovation and entrepreneurship, is only present in an exam called CMAT. So if you are planning to write CMAT exam, remember there are 5 sections in CMAT. Every section will have 20 questions in it. And innovation and entrepreneurship is a separate section in CMAT exam. 20 questions will be appearing there. Now, what is innovation and entrepreneurship? See, it's a section which tests your aptitude pertaining to entrepreneurship. So common terms that people use related to entrepreneurship may be there in the question paper. For example, what is a startup? What is seed money? Who are venture capitalists? Now, these are some terms that you generally use in entrepreneurship world. So those terms could be used while creating questions. Or sometimes there may be questions pertaining to entrepreneurship world, current affairs pertaining to entrepreneurship world. So some new company would have got started. The question could be who started it? Or some policies of Government of India pertaining to this ecosystem, questions can be framed according to that. So this is one area that is useful, but only when you are preparing for CMAT. Now, I have mentioned speed mathematics. Now, you may say, what is the purpose of speed maths? See, the reason I have mentioned speed maths is because most of the OMETs don't provide you with a calculator. And because there is no calculator, you do need to rely on your speed mathematics techniques so that you can solve questions very fast. Exams like SNAP, for example, which is just 1 hour exam, you need to go very fast. That is where speed maths techniques will help you out. So do revise, because you would have already prepared for speed maths while you were preparing for CAT. I am not saying you did not prepare, but it is just that you might have forgotten some of the concepts. So it's better to revise them for OMETs. Last but not the least, vocabulary and grammar. See, remember, vocabulary and grammar indirectly were useful in your CAT examination performance also. But some students might have underestimated its importance and may not have devoted adequate amount of time to it because they were under the notion that verbal ability and reading comprehension doesn't really have direct questions based on vocabulary and grammar. For such students, I would strongly advocate you please work on your vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms, and grammatical skills also, because some of these exams, they may have questions related to grammar. For example, a question could be, which among the 4 options is grammatically incorrect? Which of the 4 sentences given underneath is grammatically incorrect or grammatically correct, either ways. So that can only be done when your grammar is pretty clear, grammatical skills are pretty clear. So do revise the basics without fail. Time has provided you study material not only for grammar, but we'll also provided you book for vocabulary preparation. Do refer to it without fail. So these are some of the areas that you need to focus upon where additional preparation is needed. Again, this is not an exhaustive list, this is just an indicative list. Now, what about GWPI preparation? As I spoke earlier and I told you, you do need to prepare for group discussion, essay writing and personal interviews also. What kind of preparation is needed? Let's focus upon that. But before I do that, let me make it clear. This is not the priority. priority right now is OMETs. But whenever you get tired, whenever you get bored, whenever you get a little bit of free time, that's when you can focus on this. Now, what kind of preparation? To start with, brush up your current affairs knowledge, right? Why will it help you out? How will it help you out? Because sometimes a group discussion topic could be related to current affairs. An essay topic could be related to current affairs. Or in personal interview, professor may grill you on the important events that might be happening across the world. For example, a professor may like to have a conversation with you about Russia-Ukraine war or Israel-Palestine war. If you have not been reading news on a regular basis, how would you answer those questions? Or what contribution you would make in a group discussion if you are not aware of those conflicts? So it does make sense for you to dig a little deeper. Some students, they ask me, this preparation for current affairs and the kind of preparation you mentioned earlier when you were talking about OMETs, is there any difference? Yes, there is a difference. For OMETs, we are mainly focusing on facts. We are not focusing on opinions. We are not focusing on reasons, justifications, logic. All that is not needed. Because in OMETs, you basically have got objective type questions where one word correct answer would be there. Whereas here, because it's an interview, reasoning will be involved. For example, professor may ask you, okay, what's your opinion about America's role in Russia-Ukraine war? Now, this needs deeper level preparation. This needs a student to have awareness about different point of views. That is the reason I am saying you do need to go a little deeper with regard to current affairs. Now, is it that only international current affairs will be focused upon? No. National level current affairs will also be focused upon. A question could be, okay, recently Jharkhand and Maharashtra elections were done. What's your take on it? What is the outcome? What was the takeaway from those elections? So that kind of question can be asked. So you have to read about national, international, and also you need to not just focus on politics, but you also need to focus on economy, business, you need to focus on sports. So variety of subjects you'll have to cover as such. Again, MBA Education and Career magazine of Time will be extremely crucial for your preparation. When you join Time for your GWPI preparation, Time will provide you, we will provide you with GWPI briefcase. It's an excellent tool for learning and improving current affairs within a very short span of time. So do register with Time for your GWPI preparation so you do get access to that excellent resource called GWPI briefcase. Moving on, you need to brush up your academic subjects. So when I say academic subject, what exactly am I inferring here? See, I am basically pointing out your graduation subjects, especially the core subjects. For example, if you have done BTech Computer Science, your computer science subjects that you have learned, especially in third and fourth year, would be regarded as your major subjects, important subjects. Focus on them, revise them. So, academic subjects can also be focused upon in interviews. Especially if you have got less experience, it becomes very important to do that. Then, gain awareness about your industry in general and your company, your organization in particular. This is for WorkX people. If you don't have work experience, you can ignore this. But in case you are a working class aspirant, MBA aspirant, then definitely gain awareness about your industry. For example, you may be working for IT sector. Then be aware about issues pertaining to IT. What percentage of India's population is working in IT? What are the challenges that IT sector faces? Why is the attrition rate very high? What could be the likely impact of recession if it happens on IT sector? Right? Who are the top players in your industry? Where does your company rank in the scheme of things? What is the turnover of your organization? What is the profit margin of your organization? If your company has been in news because of whatever reason, be aware of that reason. Be prepared to take questions of that controversy that media might have reported. So bottom line is you need to gain awareness about your work also. Last but not the least, if time permits, again it's optional, if time permits, practice by writing some essays. Some students, they say to me, while the GWPI program has not yet started in Time, how do I do this? See, just pick up some essay topic and write an essay. Nobody's stopping you, right? Just to get used to the experience of putting a pen to paper and writing it out, it makes sense to do that. And most of these business schools, they make you write an essay on a piece of paper. So again, we may not be very familiar or used to writing creative writing. Some of you may not be used to it. That's the reason I'm saying just start by picking up some topics randomly and write some essay. To start with, don't worry about the quality and so on and so forth. First, get used to the experience of putting pen on paper and putting your thoughts in a well-organized manner. That should be your goal initially. Once the GWPI program starts, that's when you will get help from the faculty member. You can show your essays to us. We will guide you. We'll help you improve further as such. So that is something that you need to do. But remember, again, I'm reiterating myself. This is not the priority. Priority right now is your OMET preparation. But whenever you get time, incorporate some of these things towards your preparation for GWPI rounds. Now, I want to end my session by highlighting the need to have good preparation for GWPI. Remember, getting an interview call is an amazing achievement. But at the end of the day, you will not get admission into a good business school unless and until you excel in group discussion, essay writing, and personal interviews. So that's where our role, Time's role, will come into picture. Register for GWPI program immediately after getting your first interview call. And that's when you will get access to some of the best teachers in this industry. So register for GWPI program. You will not only get access to extremely qualified, experienced faculty members who will guide you in your preparation. We will also provide you with very useful tools like GWPI Briefcase, MBA Education and Career Magazine. We will give you a lot of tools that will help in writing a good SOP for yourself, for instance, and so on and so forth. So GWPI program will be offered by Time. For more details, you can visit the local Time office, or you can also check out our website, timenumericalforeducation.com. But do register for this program the moment you get your first interview call. All right, friends. So with this, I have come to the end of this session. I hope you got a good amount of idea about now that CAT is over, what should you be focusing upon. So please put to practice whatever inputs I have shared in today's session. Now it's the question of you implementing my ideas. And if you like this content, do hit the like button. Share it with other friends of yours who may also be in a dilemma as to what needs to be done now. And do subscribe to this channel because we regularly upload these kind of videos on it, and you will gain from other kind of content that we provide. So thank you all for watching this video.